Hey, I hope the audio comes in here, and the reason I'm doing a quick video is because it kills me when you're in the zone and you have an idea and you want to say something. A lot of times, I'll do an audio message to then send to myself and come back and write a blog post. When you're writing a blog post, transcribing from an audio message or notes on a napkin, it's honestly, you're never in the same mindset, so it's not going to be as good. And it's like with the technology we have, why I'm not doing videos, I don't really know why, so I'm going to try a video. Obviously, it's a little more revealing. You can see here I am soaked in sweat. And often, a lot of times, after a workout, during a workout, I get this perspective because, especially if you fast, you get this clear head. And it's good to get these thoughts out. And I oftentimes relate a lot of challenges, and again, perspective in life, to physical challenges and things that I accomplish and see other people accomplish that go way beyond what we thought possible. Because a lot of times I'll say this when I know I'm kind of repetitive here. I'm really just got done with an intense workout, but I just want to get this out. The reason is because, let's say I go for a run in the morning, and I don't like running in the morning. I don't like working out in the morning because I haven't had a chance to get up and running. Or up on top of the waves like a boat to go fast, as I like to say. Excuse me. But a lot of times I'll say, if you get through this, it's the hardest part of your day. So if you can get through this run, 3-mile run, 1-mile run, whatever the case it is, a walk, a bike ride, everything else in my day will be easier. Maybe not easier up here. Well, yeah, a lot of times easier because you have to control what you do with your mind. So if you can master a little bit of mental toughness and get past a workout like I just did that just blew me away, you can obviously sit at a desk and complete a task. Or even if you do physical work, that's why I always use physical examples. That's why it's like, oh yeah, you run your first marathon or ride 100 miles on a century ride. It's like, if you can ride 100 miles in a century ride and be home before lunch, I'm pretty sure you can do quite a bit more in other areas of your life. So it's like arbitrage. It's like using experience. Learn why you're able to do all these awesome things. It doesn't have to be physical. It's just, for me, why can I do these awesome physical challenges? Why can I focus in? And sometimes they're not instant. Sometimes it's like, I'm going to train to do a century ride or a marathon. This is months and months of training. How can I stick to it? Persistently go after a goal that, honestly, a lot of times after you've done a marathon or a century ride, they can be pretty empty if you don't know really why you're doing it. After the first time or two, it's not as fulfilling just to run it and go, yeah, I'm probably the only one that cares about this. I wrote a blog post on that. You're probably the only one that cares. Outlandishedge.com /blog, and you'll see it somewhere in there. But anyway, what was I saying here? Okay, I'm coming back. So if you're able to find an area that you're really good at, and I'm not saying I'm really good at workouts, but I'm really good at grinding it out, getting past the mental toughness, and making my, 235 pound 6'2" body, which is not ripped at all, do things that people that weigh 160, 70 pounds can't do. I don't know. So I know that if I can do these things, there's no reason why I can't, maybe tackle the food side. If I can do all these physical things, why can't I just figure out a healthy balance? And if I want to lose weight, why can't I lose it? Well, I can, and I have, but it's not a priority. Why can't I take all the things that I'm learning on how to persistently go after a physical goal that oftentimes, I'm telling you, are empty goals? You run a marathon, you ride 100 miles, you run a 5K, whatever your thing is, you do it. I'm not saying that your friends and family won't support you, but after you do a few of these, it's less of a shock moment for you and other people, and they don't really know how to react. So if you don't do something for you, and maybe if anybody else cares, it's a bonus, it's going to be empty. So what I mean is, take these physical or these goals you're doing really good at, or these achievements, and come back and apply it to maybe like a professional sense. Maybe you're trying to achieve like a new position or promotion, or you're going into a new field or something like that. I know that I need to do more of that. I need to take more of the things that I do without even thinking, physical wise, and bring them back to things that won't be as empty. So let's say you want to change careers, you want to go after a new position. Pretty sure that you can run a marathon, you can ride 100 miles, you can train for months, you can do things you don't want to do all the time to achieve something where no one really cares. I'm pretty sure me and about everybody else can take that same craziness, good crazy by the way, and apply it to, okay, maybe I want to go over and get in the advertising industry. Maybe I want to get into marketing. Maybe I want to get into whatever. Taking the same amount of time and effort, and I've had people in my life tell me this, if you use the same amount of effort that you do riding your bike 100, 200 miles a week, that, 5 to 13 hours, what could I be doing if I wanted to change jobs? I could be, learning, I could, so I guess I'm going to get off here because it's going to be repetitive. You get the idea. Use areas of your life where you're doing really awesome, or you look at somebody else that's doing something you want to do, find out how they're doing it, and just break it down. The basics and the fundamentals come into play, and as adults, we think that we're above it. We feel entitled. Oh, I don't have to start over. I shouldn't have to do this. Well, yeah, sometimes you do. If I haven't run, what did I go 5-6 months without running? I'll tell you this for perspective. In 2017, I ran very little miles, probably the least amount of miles I've run in 10 years. I run. Into 2018, when I started, I think the first week of January, running just a little by little, 3 miles a week, 6 miles a week, incrementally, adding to it. I think by the time like mid-February, I'd already ran more miles than all of 2017. So sometimes you just have to answer your why. You have to set a goal and you have to stick with it. And after you do a few of these, like I'm telling you, that may be empty, maybe physical, may just be for fun, you'll know that you might be able to take that same drive and get, I don't know, years and years of return in a new job or a new project, or spending more time with your friends or your family or something like that. So don't always just chase the physical things. I know that for me it was a start and a start. I mean, I've spent years on it, and now it's something I'm glad I'm talking about, at least so I can watch this video. If you're watching the video, I decided to just put it on, even though I can't assume that's glamorous. I mean, I have sweat running down my legs, my shorts are soaked. But real quick on the workout that I just surprised myself on and why I decided to do this video. So here you go. I just did a workout that it's not groundbreaking by any means, I'll tell you in a second, but it caught me off guard because I was in circumstances I'm not normally in. I'm in a hotel. Usually I'm riding my bike outside this time of year 4 or 5 times a week, but I have to make the best of what I have. So I just surprised myself on what I was able to do physically, like I've been talking about, and I'm arbitraging or using that confidence and momentum to say, well, if I'm doing that, why can't I be putting content out in video form like this? Why do I have to do an audio message and listen to it a week later and then try to get the same momentum as I have right now and energy, which it won't happen? That post-workout and during workout energy, perspective, and clearness. Have a little caffeine in there, have a little fasting. It's a really interesting area, and to not capture this now, it won't be captured. It will come off flat and reproduced to try to do this in a week when I'm not even in the same circumstance. I'm not even in the same city or state or whatever. So here was the workout. I went down and there was an upright bike, one of those, I think, pre-core bikes, nothing fancy, and not a recumbent, and upright. And I just decided, okay, I don't want to sit here for an hour, so we're going to do 10 miles. We're going to chase. I did it yesterday, really early, and I wanted to have at least 20 miles an hour average speed, so that's 30 minutes. And I think I beat it by, I don't know, a half a minute or something like that. It was like 20.3 average speed. And today I just went down there and I'm like, I really want to go for it because it's more exciting to me to try to get something that's crazy. Not every day. Life is an interval. you have to go up, you have to go down to come up. So the 20.3 average speed, that was the first ride on an upright bike in a hotel that I've done in probably 2 years, okay? Pretty boring, weird positions, it's using more hamstrings, the angle, the seat's bigger, nothing's great. So I do the 20.3, and today I'm like, okay, well, hell, let's just try 22. Why can't I ride 22 miles an hour average speed based on my real biking experience? There's no reason I can't do it. So I just start off out of the gate killing it, and maybe if I'm posted, under this video, or I don't really know how I'm going to produce it, if I'm just going to post this or if I'm going to post a video with some notes on the side. I don't really know, but I think I started out, and as soon as I climbed over 22, I'm like, okay, well, this isn't going to fall. And I actually raised it over the bike ride from 22 miles an hour average speed to chase the 10 miles. The race was to 10 miles, okay, and to get over 22 miles an hour average speed. Ended up getting 23 miles an hour average speed about 10 seconds after I hit 10 miles. So what I'm saying is I did that before I did so I went for 22. I did 23, and the other day I did 20. Okay, so I way pushed that. Before I did that, I actually did some curls. Haven't done curls in probably 2 years. Started out doing decent weight for me, and then just kind of tapered off, did sets and went lighter until I just had some really good burn. So then I did the bike ride, and then I got off the bike ride, and I love when my heart rate climbs. I got a new max heart rate. I used to get over 200 and in my 20s, and now I think I've only hit like 182 before, probably because outside it's hard to stay controlled on a bike if you raise it too high. So indoor on a trainer, it doesn't surprise me that I was able to get it higher, but I think it was like 192. So new high heart rate, got off, love the feeling of a high heart rate. Some people don't like it. I enjoy it. It's kind of like a buzz. And my heart rate started to fall, and I was like, okay, this is kind of boring. So I ended up doing more curls again, starting heavy and kind of going almost to fail and going down 5 pounds until I thought it was good enough. And then I was getting ready to leave, and I thought, I don't really want to run too much in here, but why not run a mile? Who can't run a mile? I'm not trying to be mean, but I run at least 3 or 4 miles a week. It's very little, but it's enough to know that I can go out and run and not have weird muscle pains and whatnot. So I hopped on there, shot it up to like 8 or 9 miles an hour, got my base, and then I just started rolling with it, and I think I ended up finishing again. I don't know how this video is going to be loaded, if I'll be able to show a screenshot, maybe like in the bottom part. I'll show you a few progression shots maybe, and it was 6.5 minute mile by the time I ended. I ended at 12 miles an hour. The treadmill maxed out at 12 miles an hour, so my last minute or so I was 12 miles an hour, which a guy of my size, 12 miles an hour on a treadmill probably smells or sounds like a horse running down a hallway or on a treadmill. But I was able to do a crazy cycling workout that otherwise would be boring, because it was boring when I did the 20 mile an hour because it wasn't high enough on the heart rate to be a challenge, but I needed a base. So I did the base. The next day I did the crazy challenge. I did some curls, which honestly yesterday I picked up and I don't want to do it. Today I wanted to do it. I had some good energy. I had some good things happen in an event I'm helping with, and I just rode that, no pun intended. Got off, did some more curls, and then said, you know what, I could quit now. There's no one here. There was no one in the fitness center. No one cares. If I tell this story to somebody else over the phone, people I'm working an event with, you probably don't care. Okay, so he decided to run or not run, what? So I did it not for that. I did it because I thought it would be a good end to what I did. Fast cycling, a little bit of working out, which I want to do, or lifting a little bit more because I feel like I'm starting to get like my muscles are just melting away. And then topped it off with a run just because that seemed wild again. So I wouldn't be able to do the way that I'm going to put it here, workout that I just did, unless I didn't have somewhere to start from. So if you do things constantly crazy, or you think that are hard all the time, maybe your bar is higher, and you don't taper off a little bit and try new things and come back and do the up and down, it will get boring and you will quit. If I would have had to do another 20-mile-an-hour workout today, that's just sitting on an upright bike for 30 minutes, riding in somewhat decent position, but it's a trainer bike. It was going to be hard to get through it because it was hard to get through it yesterday. But do you think it was hard to get through a workout that my heart rate was up around 160, 165 average? I was having to constantly change positions like I was driving. I mean, it was like just to keep cadence and speed. And once I got 22 miles an hour average speed, 5-6 minutes into it, to know that I was going to try to chase that to 23, this was a challenge. It was like doing an intermittent workout, high intensity training workout. But I wasn't following anything. You know what I was doing? I was listening to this. I was going as hard as I could, and then I had to taper off a little bit, get my heart rate down, up, down, up, down. This wasn't a straight line workout, and life's not a straight line. So embrace the intervals of life. Embrace the what I just have here, and this is a good, as I would call it, like a buzz. It's not, if you have a few beers, it's not that buzz. It's more like a high, but not like illegal high, like just a natural high of just accomplishment, clarity. You know what you want to do. I had some thoughts down there during that workout that I've been trying to figure out in my head for weeks, and it was really clear in that moment, somewhere in 170 heart rate, probably going 22.5 miles an hour in a weird position, haunched over, dripping sweat everywhere. Did I go, oh, now I know what I want to do there. Make a note of that mentally, and now I'm done with the workout, and here I am feeling great. So this is Todd Smith. I don't even know where this is going to get posted. Maybe outlandishedge.com. It's kind of where a lot of this perspective and physical stuff is. Maybe it won't get posted. Who knows? But at least I'll be able to watch it, and I know there's a much better chance that I'll take action and inspiration from even myself in video form other than just an audio message. So this is me just throwing a sweaty video out there for you. Let me know, if it helps, if you want something else, or, there's anything I can do to help inspire you. There is quite a bit of a story, or my story, on Outlandish Edge. It's kind of like my hub. Outlandishedge.com, you'll see, I think, blog and about. If you click about, you'll be able to see everything of how I am now here. I mean, it hasn't been updated in a few months, but just the short version of that is the bar used to be very low, okay? And then I got hurt, and the only way to get excited about recovering was to set the bar high, and that's, 5-6 months later, I ran my first marathon, and the rest is history. So that's an example of life as an interval. Go from running, 3 or 4 miles the max your whole life to mid-20s and break your foot, or tear everything in your foot. It's easier to say break your foot, come back, and then run a marathon every year for 2-3 years until, again, it got boring, and then I switched it up. So you have to switch it up. You have to chase some goals, and you have to do it for you, or eventually you will quit because they will be empty, and you are the only one that cares. So if you want a little bit more information on you're the only one that cares, go to outlandishedge.com/blog and scroll down to the title that says you're the only one that cares, and you'll see what I mean there. So Todd Smith, have a good one. See ya.